Hi, today's date is April 1st, 2019, also known as April Fool's Day. I'm Matt Gifford. I'm our sales manager for our spare parts and service department here at SciTech. Today's instructional video is how to remove and install rotors. We're going to start with a QD here, which is short for quick disconnect, also known as a single bolt rotor. And then we're going to move on to a different tool that has a 4-bolt rotor. And we're going to remove that and install another one as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Want to wish you a happy April Fool's Day. I was pranked this morning, but it was all in good fun. So, quick disconnect rotor is much easier to install and uninstall as there's only one bolt that needs to be taken care of. We have our nice little tool here. And it's loose. So you want to be really careful, especially with this large. This is a high profile 8-inch rotor, so there's more stainless steel than most rotors. It's heavy. So when you remove it, you want to be very careful to not damage the bowl. So I'm just going to kind of get it started here. So after a while, once I get to about this point, I can twist with my finger. I need to go a little further and hold the rotor in place. Perfect. So I'm going to be extra careful here. That's what you want to do with the big heavy rotors. Until you remove the bolt. And then bring it out of the bowl as straight as possible. That was pretty smooth. Let me get this rotor out of the way. That is how you remove a rotor. That being said, if you were to over tighten this center bolt, sometimes you need to get out your rotor a different way, as you can have your rotor seize if you over tighten the screw. So I want to stress, and I'll stress again after I finish installing this low profile 8-inch, do not over tighten your screws when installing your rotors, whether it's a single bolt or a 4-bolt, because then it's going to turn into a 2-man job with one guy at the back of the SRD and one at the front holding the rotor in place, trying to bang it out of place. Okay, I'm just picking up my low profile 8-inch. Put that in my pocket. Retaining bars on top. Okay, and you want to line it up. And there we are. What's nice about the quick disconnect is you can look through the center hole of the QD shaft there to line up your rotor to the back of the bowl. I'll just go ahead and get it started with my hand here. It's safe to let go. And now to tighten. That's how we do it. So once you get tight and it's tougher, just a quarter turn, like so. Boom. That's as much as I'm going to crank on it at all. This is safe and secure. There'll be zero problems running a recipe with this rotor. So the key is not over tightening. I'm going to have the camera shut off here, and we're going to do a 4-bolt rotor next. Hi, we're going to do a second quick disconnect tool. April Fools, we're doing a 4-bolt. Gotcha. Okay, so the way that we remove and install 4 bolts, I mean, you have a square pattern here. You want to go opposite. So I'm going to go side, side, bottom, top. When I install it, I do it the opposite. I'll go top, bottom, side, side. So that's the way we like to do it. So starting here, so I get it nice and started. What's nice is this is a 4-inch rotor, so it's not as heavy as the 8-inch. And this bolt will come out nice and easy by hand. So that's one down. I'll set it to the side. Okay. And the next one. And the reason you could totally unfasten these with your tool that you have handy to do so. I do it by hand once I get it started because I don't want to drop a bolt in the bowl. So if you drop a bolt in the bowl, depending on the situation, you have a bolt in your drain tube, and it's just time consuming. We want to save time, we want to be efficient. If you're swapping rotors, you want to be extra careful so you don't have the tool down any longer than you have to. Last thing you want is people in the fab standing around because you have to fetch a bolt out of the drain tube, excuse me. Okay. And now that we have one bolt left, it's kind of similar to the quick disconnect that we were removing. Once I get it started with my handy tool here, I will then finish by removing the bolt with my hand while holding the rotor in place. So we'll get it started. Okay. Which isn't as easy when you have a smaller rotor compared to the bigger rotor. This may not be the best camera view, but I want to be as safe as possible and avoid damaging the bowl. Straight out. We have a rotor removed. Let me put this down and grab the next rotor. Okay, so we are going to install a 6-inch rotor. Get my bolt ready in one hand. Get it lined up and centered. And I am right-handed, so I'm going to switch sides. I'm trying to get out of the way for the camera here. Want to get it pretty tight. Not perfectly tight, that's not going to happen going by hand. So the rotor is now secure. Be fastened into the bowl. From here, we're going to go top to bottom. I'm going to start them all off by hand. Now those aren't perfectly tight, but the rotor's securely in place for now. We will make sure they're secure with our tool. Okay, that's 3 down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the sides now to finish securing the rotor, and then I want to do the top bolt last. Even though I start with it, I also like to finish with the top bolt. Really, it's a matter of preference. You can do this the way you like. This is the way that we usually do it here at SciTech. So, we'll start right. Quarter turn. Don't want to force it. We're good. Left. Quarter turn, don't want to force it. Bottom. Not quite a quarter turn. I was able to do this pretty well by hand here. And then top. Quarter turn. Okay, so that's how you install a 4-bolt rotor. We do not want to over tighten. If you over tighten, getting a seized rotor out of an SRD is not fun. Customers often send it to us because we have experience bailing customers out of that situation. Anyways, we hope that you found this video educational and that you won't over tighten your rotors when installing. We'll see you next time. Happy April Fool's Day.